8 soldiers sharing a single tent and a mule. This was the Roman conturbanium, history's most successful military unit and its first effective information processing machine. Orders flowed down, reports flowed back up. When the New York and Erie Railroad had to coordinate thousands of workers across hundreds of miles in 1854, they directly copied this structure. They drew history's first modern org chart, a Roman legion in disguise. In the 1890s, Frederick Winslow Taylor formalized this with scientific management. His logic was to separate the thinking from the doing. A worker on the factory floor didn't need to understand the whole product. They just executed a single measured step. We have invented the internet and cloud computing, yet today's Fortune 500 companies still rely on this same information routing protocol, a system built to solve the problems of ancient armies and steam railroads. This structure persists because of a hard biological limit, the span of control. Human attention and working memory can only effectively manage 5 to 8 direct reports before the manager becomes a bottleneck. This chart shows what happens when that limit is breached. A single node connecting to dozens of others overloads and fails. Middle management is a human layer added purely to route information and coordinate tasks that a single person can't track. Companies have tried to abolish this. In 2013, Zappos adopted holacracy, removing traditional managers entirely. Within 2 years, nearly a fifth of the workforce had left, and the vacuum was filled by chaotic, informal hierarchies. Spotify and Valve tried similar experiments with autonomous squads and flat structures. But in each case, power simply became invisible and unaccountable. Someone still had to route the information, so shadow managers emerged to do it off the books. If you enjoy dissecting the hidden mechanics of business and tech, hit like and subscribe for more research-heavy deep dives. These experiments failed because the constraint never changed. Humans are the only routers for organizational information. If you remove the managers without replacing the routing mechanism, the organization simply stops coordinating. Between 2019 and 2023, AI capability grew steadily. This chart shows the primary drivers: massive compute increases and algorithmic efficiency. After 2023, a third factor appeared: unhobbling. Agent scaffolding, reasoning loops, and expanded context windows allowed models to work independently for hours. There is a hard distinction between a chatbot and an AI agent. A chatbot generates text. An agent can read a 1,000-page codebase, use development tools, and execute a multi-step project without human supervision. An agent has no span of control limit. It can monitor hundreds of tasks simultaneously and route requests to specialists without losing context. It can perform the exact functions hierarchy was invented to manage. Organizations now have access to a non-human mechanism that can process routing and coordinate work at a speed and scale no human layer can match. Tech leaders like Jack Dorsey and Roelof Botha have recently detailed a thesis on how this works. Hierarchy collapses when intelligence becomes cheap. In this model, individual contributors do the actual work, the coding and designing, but they are now augmented by agents that handle the routine parts of their day. Then there are directly responsible individuals. They own outcomes and metrics. They don't do performance reviews or approve time off. They ensure the mission is met by coordinating through AI agents. Finally, player coaches set the strategy. They still do high-level work on the field, but they guide others through the complex calls that require human relationships and organizational context. In this blueprint, the middle management layer is gone. Information routing, status reporting, and task tracking are handled entirely by the agent layer. Klarna attempted this transition by cutting 700 customer service roles and replacing them with AI. But because they subtracted people from an existing structure without redesigning the workflow, complex cases piled up with no humans to resolve them, and customer satisfaction plummeted. Shopify's approach is different. They require teams to prove a job cannot be done by AI before hiring more people. This forces the team to build a stable coordination layer first, ensuring the architecture can scale before adding the complexity of new human hires. Chamath Palihapitiya frames this as the software factory. It's a shift from craft production to industrial production in knowledge work. A master shoemaker can make 40 pairs a year. A master coder can write a few thousand lines. Both are bottlenecked by their physical capacity. The factory doesn't eliminate their skill. It captures their knowledge and makes it transferable. Just as the assembly line codified the shoemaker's patterns into machines, AI agents capture the heuristics and decision-making logic of a senior engineer. This allows them to direct a factory floor of agents that execute those patterns 100 times faster. To see the running code and the blueprints for transitioning an organization from hierarchy to intelligence, visit ainative.business. The 2,000-year-old hierarchy is dying because the ancient problem it solved, the bottleneck of human attention, finally has a technological successor.